Hello again. Well, last week we had the lovely Eloise from our office join us from Views from the Veranda. Unfortunately today everyone's a little bit too busy in the agency, which is probably a good thing. So I would have loved to have him join me today on the veranda, but during the course of this week the Lang & Simmons group had Tim Lawless, who heads up the property group Core Logic. They're a research company that provides a number of sort of statistics and research and information in regard to the local property market. So he came in and gave us his insights in what's happening. So today what I hope to do is share with you some of his views. So firstly, it's still a little bit uncertain of what the whole COVID situation will do to property values. But if we look at previous economic shocks and crises, such as the stock market crash back in 1987, there was the Asian financial crisis in 1997, there was the global financial crisis in 2008, and then more recently in 2017, the Banking Royal Commission. What we've seen is property values and prices have been fairly well insulated from these sorts of shocks. So if I could share with you something that's quite relevant in the last 28 days in terms of property prices and values, there's only been a 1% decline in property values. Compared to the same period last year, in fact, we are still about 10% higher than the same period in May. On the flip side of that, if we look at housing volume, this is the number of properties that are selling, that's taken a significant hit. And in April, house sales went down by 41%. They've rebounded by 28% in May, but we're still looking at, in terms of number of properties selling, we're about 30% lower than what we were doing the same period last year. So what does all that mean? Well, property is probably doing better than expected. And if I could share with you one other statistic, is in relation to new properties that are listed. These are properties coming on the market. In May, there was a 30% increase in number of new properties listed, so that showed a lot of vendor confidence. But what is interesting is the total number of listings declined by 23%. So what that tells us is that buyers are buying the new property that is coming on and buying them relatively quickly. So as I said, I was going to take on Tim's views and make them my own. So if you've got any questions in relation to the local shire market, your own circumstances, your own property, contact us, message us. We're always here to help and to give advice. We'll be sitting out here in the veranda, at least I will be, and hopefully I might have someone else next week that can join us if they're not too busy. But until then, take care and look after each other. Thanks.